Hello everyone, my name is Nilesh, and in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up Hadoop multi-node cluster on your computer. I will be showing you how to set up one master and 3 workers in a cluster. Of course, the very first step is to install VirtualBox on your computer, and if you are on a Ubuntu kind of system, we can simply say apt-get install to install the VirtualBox. Now, instead of building the VirtualBox image from scratch, it is a good idea to get the ready-made VirtualBox image which is already pre-created, and I prefer a website osboxes.org. So you can head to that website and select osboxes image of Ubuntu server 22. Please note we are using Ubuntu server 22, so it is purely command line image, no GUI involved there, right? Let that image get downloaded and then we will import it into our VirtualBox. Right, now let us get that image and we need to extract it. Once you extract it, you will be able to see a VDI file has been given over there. VDI stands for VirtualBox Disk Image. Of course, you need to create virtual machine separately, and to create a virtual machine, you need to open VirtualBox and then you can go to the new virtual machine. We can give some name like master over here and select the Linux operating system, out of which I am going for Ubuntu 64-bit operating system over here. For these machines, I have chosen 2.5 GB RAM, and I do not want to create any virtual disk over here because I'll be attaching the virtual disk which is downloaded from Osbox's site. So let us copy this image into the VirtualBox folder, and from there we can attach it into our virtual machine storage. To put it in your virtual machine storage, we need to go to the virtual machine setting, go to the storage, and we will select the SATA controller and add the virtual machine disk over here. Let me also confirm the other settings like RAM, and I'm giving a single core for this virtual machine. Also, the network that is connected is right now only NAT network, so that I can connect the internet. And let us get started with the virtual machine. By default, for this virtual machine, the username is osboxes and password is osboxes.org. The very first thing I want to do is to create a new user, HD user over here. I will be using this user for installation of Hadoop and even other software. You can give some password and get the default details. Don't forget to add this user into the sudoers group so that it can execute the sudo commands for the further installation. Now it's time to log in with HD user. Let us first update our Ubuntu repositories by simply saying sudo apt update. And now it's time to install the software. The most important software over here are VI editor, that is required for inspecting the file, SSH, that is required for communication between master and slave. I'm also using nettool if at all you are planning to use some command like ifconfig. Hadoop is Java based, so OpenJDK is also very much required. And I'm sharing few files on Git for your quick configuration. That is the reason I'm also installing Git over here. Now let us go to the home directory and download Hadoop installable. We are downloading it over here using wget command. You can also use curl command, and I'm choosing a Hadoop version 3.3.2. Please note that the downloaded file will be available into your current directory, that is nothing but home directory. Now let us extract the file, and that can be done by simply char xvs. You must have seen that the Hadoop is extracted over here, and I just shut down the machine. Now it's time for the networking configuration, where I'm creating the host only networking configuration in VirtualBox first, vbox net 0 over here. And even though I'm using an DHCP server over here, I'll not be really using it. I thought of giving the lower bound and upper bound as 101 and 254 for the auto-generated IP addresses. Please note that for our requirement, we are going to use the static IP addresses 50, 51, 52, 53, 50. Now, I'm also modifying the network configuration of my virtual machine, where I'm selecting network adapter 2 and enabling that, and selecting host only network. Now it's time to log into the system, and we need to give static IP address. Right now that IP address is not selected. Please note that there are two network settings are there. One is ENP0S3 and ENP0S8. Ubuntu use netplan, so let us modify the netplan configuration file, and into this configuration file let me put it settings for both the adapters. The first adapter, which is connected to NAT, I'm giving a setting at like DHCP true, but for the second one, since I want to give it like a static IP, I kept it false and I assign IP address as 192.168.56.50. Let us apply that IP address and confirm, is this IP address is assigned? Yes, that is great. Also, let me make the entry into etc host for not only master but also all three workers, and IP addresses you must have seen 50, 51, 52, 53. You can also change the hostname, and I would prefer to select hostname CTL for changing the hostname permanently. Over here I haven't used that. Now since SSH is already installed, we can use SSH to connect to that system from my host machine, and there we go. Now it's time to take a look at where exactly Java is installed on my system, and you should be able to see that it is present in USR libjvm Java 11 folder. Please note, this is your Java home setting which you need to do for your Hadoop installation, and this setting I will put it into bash rc file. You must be knowing that bash rc file is always executed every time a new shell is started. So in it, I'm setting Java home, I'm setting Hadoop home, and I'm also setting the path variable where the Hadoop, sbean and bean directories are added. By the way, these settings will be applied only in a new terminal. To apply it into the current terminal, we can use source command. Let me take the configuration from the Git repository. I have already shared the link into the description. And from that, let me copy the master configuration into my Hadoop etc Hadoop directory. Let us go to that directory and let us review what exactly the configuration we have done over there. The very first file, the most important over here, is to set up Hadoop env.sh. You ensure that Java home is set up correctly in this file. Then we need to also put file core site.xml, and in this file I need to specify HDFS master address. Please note master port is 9000 and the master name over here is mapped to IP address 192.168 and 5650. Let me go to the HDFS site.xml where I'm showing a NameNode folder over there. So NameNode metadata will be stored in that directory, and for now I have given DFS replication factor as 2. Also in a MapRead site.xml, I have set up the MapReduce framework name as Yan, and also I have added the class path. In Yan site.xml, I need to specify the ResourceManager, and ResourceManager is again master, our IP address 50 over there. Finally, I want to take a look at the workers file, and I need to tell master that we have 3 workers which are mapped to the respective IP addresses in etc host file. Now we can shut down the master, and that is all master configuration. Now to create worker, let us not waste time. We can simply clone the machine, and while cloning the machine, I will give the name as worker1 and regenerate all MAC addresses for the network adapter. Also over here, instead of doing a full clone, I am planning to go for linked clone, because the linked clone always takes less space. It stores only the differences from the main image. Now it's time to start the worker1 VM. Again, HD user login, and again netplan configuration. I will just change the IP address from 50 to 51 for worker1. We can apply that IP address and confirm it using the command once again. Also, you can use hostname CTL for changing the hostname permanently. Over here, I'm changing it temporarily so that I need to do it again and again every time I reboot the system. Now it's time to copy the worker configuration. So in the Git repository, I have also provided the worker configuration. Let me take the files of worker and copy it into Hadoop etc Hadoop directory. That's it. My worker1 configuration is also completed. Now let us repeat the same story once again for next 2 workers, worker2 as well as worker3. While planning a cluster on a single machine, you need to ensure that your machine has got a good configuration. For my machine, I have 16 GB of RAM and 8 CPU core. Now I'm planning to run 4 virtual machines, and each virtual machine I'm assigning 1 core and I'm assigning 2.5 GB of RAM. If your system configuration is less, you can choose even lesser RAM, maybe 1.5 GB or 2 GB, you can try it. Now all our machines are ready. Let us take a review of what exactly the worker configurations we have done. And for that, I'm connecting using SSH. Let me go to the Hadoop configuration directory, which is into that etc Hadoop directory. And let us get started with again the first file, Hadoop env.sh. And you should be able to see Java home setup over there. The next file is core-site.xml, and please note that we have given address of the master over here. Again, remember that etc host is copied from master into the slave due to the cloning. Next is hdfs-site.xml, and over here we have given DataNode folder instead of NameNode folder. DFS replication, I have kept it too. Mapper@site.xml, we have chosen Yarn framework and again set up the class path. In yarn-site.xml, we have told it that ResourceManager is master 192.168.56.50 and also some other settings as required. Please note that over here the workers file need not to have any IP addresses or other worker addresses. Now I'm starting all the virtual machines, master as well as all the workers. Now the most important step is the master should be able to connect to each and every slave and supposed to give the command to start the respective Hadoop daemons on them. For that, they need the SSH part. What I'm doing over here, I'm opening the terminal for all 4 virtual machines so that you can see all 4 machines in a one stroke. You might use another software like Terminator, which can help you for splitting your one terminal into the multiple ones. Now our all 4 prompts are ready: master, worker 1, worker 2 and as well as worker 3. The very first thing I want to do is to generate the SSH key on master and copy it on all workers so that master can connect to every worker and start appropriate the Hadoop daemon. In this demo, we are running NameNode, SecondaryNameNode and ResourceManager on master and DataNode and NodeManager on workers. Now, let us verify that whether master is able to connect to all the workers without password. And it seems that our SSH copy ID has done its trick. Before you start using Hadoop, the first job is to format the Hadoop file system. And here you find that the NameNode folder will be created in your home directory under big data, under HD data, under NN folder. This is the exact path we have mentioned in HDFS site.xml of master. Now we are ready to start our HDFS. You can see that over here master is connecting to workers and starting data nodes on the workers. The way NameNode folder is created on master, you should be able to see that the data node folder is created onto the worker node. Again, that was configured in their HDFS site.xml. The folder name was DN. And not only on worker 1, but it is also there on worker 2, worker 3. Best way to check whether everything is working properly is to check the Hadoop daemons, and they can be checked using JPS command. So master is running NameNode and SecondaryNameNode, while workers are running data nodes as we have planned earlier. Let me also start the yarn now. Again, ResourceManager is expected to run on a master, and NodeManager will run on all workers. Again, you can check it with JPS command. Yes, ResourceManager is running over here, and NodeManager you should be able to see on all worker nodes. We can also see HDFS web interface that is available on port number 9870 of master, whose IP address was 192.168.56.50. Great. And now you should be able to verify over there that there are 3 data nodes running. We can see the details of data nodes under the data node tab, and again you should be able to see over here the last contact shows the heartbeat signals. Also, the Hadoop cluster startup process is visible under startup progress. Finally, I can see the Hadoop file system and the root of file system over here. Just now it was formatted, so it is just blank. So let us go ahead, let us create a file and upload it onto Hadoop. So I'm just creating a test directory on my local file system, and inside that I'm creating a file like hello.txt. Of course, in this file I'm going to put some literally random content like hello guys, and welcome to Hadoop cluster. Now the file which is created on my local file system, I want to upload on HDFS. That can be done by using Hadoop fs put command, and I'm uploading directly into the root of HDFS. I repeat, root of HDFS, not of local file system. You can check if it is really uploaded over there by using ls command. And don't forget, we have a replication factor 2 over there. Let us go to the browser and see if the file is there. Yes, with the replication factor 2. Great. And this replication is on worker 2 and worker 3. So 2 blocks are copied on worker 2 and worker 3 system. Great. Now, as you have realized how the things are working, we can also get the content by using a cat command. Even though it is not good practice, still is a better option. Great. Now I'm sure that the Hadoop cluster is working. So let me stop the yarn. Just check that the node manager on worker are stopped and also resource manager on our master is stopped. Yes, it is verified now. Now let me stop even the HDFS daemon. Again, NameNode will be stopped and also DataNode will be stopped. Again, you can use JPS command and you can verify whether everything is shut down properly. Now, once you are ensured, now this is, you got the clarity how the setup can be done for the Hadoop cluster on your computer. Let me tell you guys, learning Hadoop cluster, even though it is for very much educational purpose, but understanding gives you immense confidence about distributed computing. So I hope you found this session very much useful, and if you like it, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye.